Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Just listen to the professors, yes sir. Ain't got to be quiet today. Well, I guess maybe it depends on which side we pulling from the tree. Yeah. Texas Southern or Prairie View or Jackson State. Yeah. Yeah. We can't. FAMU side for AD Drew, North Carolina Central. He just straight calling them the boogeyman. I'm just gonna say it one time. No, sir, you ain't getting me, Brother Sims. With that being said, as you can see, we're in our suite. That is 228. I don't think Mike has left the suite since the game yesterday, or at least he's disappeared. But I can say, as you see, he is finally on assignment. So
Empty cup. Empty cup. Empty cup. You know what happens?
Well, as you can tell, it's been a good thing for us over here at Prairie. It's been a great homecoming weekend. We decided from the comfort of the RV to the suite. So we asked the powers that be. And we even let Charles. Charles is making some news around here. How you gonna get us back in my chair? Never mind, that's another story. Welcome to episode 454 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small. From NAIE to the NCAA, we share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs in the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-hosts, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. We're filming from our home studios in Center Signal Live, the Caseway Shore 30 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, Ralph Cooper, multi-Hall of Famer, in the beautiful home of Prairie View A&M University from Prairie View, Texas. Glad I made sure I got that right.
Yes.
I might be in trouble as I left campus. With that being said, traditionally, we get up cigar smokes for those that are warm. Today, I'm so delighted I actually get to do cigar shaped as a pipe. Shout out, as I said, Charles, Jackson State.
Yeah.
Great job calling Prairie View.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to keep you employed.
My man CB.
Keep you employed. Shout out to you, Mike.
Yeah, 1876, live broadcast, and the new TV Communication Center on campus. So 1876 Sports and Culture. Class, hey, great team.
Shout out. You did pull that off. Pull that off. That's pretty good. From the building inside the TV lab. Shout out to Joshua Sims, Sr. Seems like you made it through homecoming just fine.
Yeah, man. You know what, Doc? Truth be told, man, I got kids, dog. So, you know what I'm saying? I got 3 of them under 6, and happy birthday to my baby girl, Jahari, our middle daughter. Tomorrow is her birthday, and we always get a chance to culminate homecoming with her birthday. So happy birthday, baby girl. Daddy loves you so much. But yeah, dog, I got kids, dog. I can't go homecoming like everybody else, dog. I snuck through the bowl yesterday. For y'all who don't know this, that are getting a chance to see it through the videos and the pictures. After the homecoming win, after the sound machine is tearing it down in the stadium, we all meet inside the center part of the stadium of the campus in what we call the bowl. Some of us call it the Alumni Bowl. It has the Greek letters and all of the Greek paraphernalia inside of that bowl as well. But there's also a stage in there. There's a fountain with, water and all of that good stuff. It's a beautiful scene. And when I say thousands, I mean thousands. Tens of thousands of people all converge on the center part of campus, from the yard all the way to the bowl. And we all celebrate, man. Bottles of champagne is popping and whatever other type of delight. You can smell the other types of delight that's in the air. But, yeah, dog. I
know not what you speak of.
I hop skipped and jumped past that, dog. I had to get back to the crib. But man, happy homecoming to Eagle Nation, man. And we had a magnificent time yesterday. But yeah, dog, like I said, I got kids, dog. I gotta get back, dog.
I said the same thing, Josh. If you know anything about a PB homecoming, there's 3 different tailgating sections.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What we call the residential area, and then there's what we call Third Ward, and that's RB Nation on the Bragg.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got kids. I got 3 kids, and I accidentally snuck out to take a nightly stroll, and I was like, is that what these kids are doing? I was like, I can't hang anymore. I just can't hang. But no, congratulations to Panther Nation on a tremendous weekend. Not only the football team, the band, the art. You can't see it now, but you can see RV Nation still out here, and you get those. What do you call it? The smells of. The aromas.
What they used to, the aroma or teen spirit, as we used to call it.
Yeah, teen spirit. But I hold my nose.
The left-handed aroma.
Oh, and then one more congratulations. Congratulations to all those fan bases that got just a little more familiar with your basketball coach yesterday.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, girls.
So you talking about some folks officially?
Yeah, so some folks officially on the leg.
Hey, Chuck, you said they pulling bio.
Is that why BJ is not here?
Oh, BJ! Oh my God, BJ! Yeah, we gotta bring BJ back in. But
hey, Chuck,
some fan bases.
He said he had Wi-Fi problems.
Are you saying they reading the bios this morning? They reading the basketball?
Yeah, they reading the bios. They getting acquainted with band rankings, a lot of things. So yeah.
Hey, Drew, we coming to you. Some of this foolishness. These folks have some homecoming. I mean, I'm sure you probably still have a little bit of your homecoming from last week layover, so you can join the fun. You did get it done, cigars to you for your Rattlers. It looks like they pretty much have locked up based on tiebreakers, but that's not official, but they pretty much have locked up hosting the championship game with the win over the Bulldogs yesterday. So shout out to you. But then to your despair, you can't get happy too long before your Tuskegee Golden Tigers disappear in their big final game, and it looks like it has cost them a shot in the championship game against Benedict.
Can I see that pipe again? That you got in your hand. Can you raise that pipe up? Now do me a favor. Turn it on the side. Turn it on the side. No, like that way, vertical. Oh, turn it vertical. That's what happened to Tuskegee yesterday.
The L? Okay.
The L?
Hey.
With everything set up for Tuskegee to get into the conference championship game, without even having to go to the nerds in the back. What Valley lost. That meant at 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central, with the Tuskegee Miles game kicked off, we had control of our own destiny. We didn't have to wait. We didn't have to think. No controversy with the team being tied for that second place. It was up to the Golden Tigers. But I told y'all the doomsday scenario would happen. And we had some yakkish stuff go on in the SIAC. And it is what it is. The team with the worst overall record of the 4 teams tied with 2 wins, it gets to be the representative. I thought it only happened in the beginning, but I guess this is the new SIAC. When you get away from divisions, you get this kind of crazy stuff that happens because it's the BAC division. Also, a bit of a somber note today. I want to say happy birthday to your baby girl, Josh. which are many more, but also today for me and my family is my late sister's birthday. Would have been 39 years old today, and she's got a foundation called Faith Walker Foundation. This kind of purpose for helping women get through things such as domestic violence and helping women achieve more with their lives and everything, setting them up for success. Former state legislature in the state of Missouri, they're having a fundraising dinner in honor of my sister today. So despite all the thrills that we have yesterday, just wanted to throw that little somber note out for you all here.
Yeah. Certainly continue prayers for you and your family. It is most appropriate that we continue to honor, obviously, our elders, as well as those that have went on in terms of that as well. With that being said, I want to take a point of privilege. Let me do today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, sponsored by THG Agency, LLC. THG Agency is a company that provides sporting and educational consulting and data analytics. All right, that's out there. With that being said, I want to give a shout out to Deshaun Baker, Brother Baker.
Yes.
In terms of what he and the executive team, One Chapter, One Shield, put together. I haven't been on the executive team, but I like to let the young folks go to work and get it done. And what they put together for the second year, within last year, in terms of what they're calling the Iceland, Alphas, Prairie View, Ada Gamma, and those extended brothers, Iceland, is off the chain. And they have it perfectly planned out where today, where folks like Mike and myself, we can go over there, we get our tables with our bottles, we can pop bottles, look like we want to professional. But then it turns into the scene where the undergraduate and those just have graduated, where I can't even talk about how much type of fun they have after that.
Yeah.
So I believe that right there. I also want to give a shout out to Corey, the twin of Kobe.
Yep.
He floated around all yesterday.
And he keep very active.
Texted me about 12. Y'all still out there? 1 o'clock, y'all still out there? I'm like, where are you, man? Then he brought his brother, Kobe, and they brought the whole wide receiver group gang down there. And so they got to eat and brought some of the running backs with them as well. So shout out to Kobe for getting it done.
I did have a chance to float that Cavil question, and I'm not laying off of that one. The family divided.
It's a whole nother story. With that being said, let's take our first break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get into some of these scores officially so you can see what happened in the top 7, both in the mid-major and major division, see what these guys think about it. And as we said, we'll see who the official boogeyman's are, who's still in the race, because as much as you talk about MEAC and SIAC, the SWAC West is kind of swackish.
Yes.
We'll see if it continues that way or if somebody risen to the top and made a statement this past weekend. Stick with us, we'll be right back after this break.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN SportsWrap, Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the pregame show, the Carlos Brown Show, the ONG Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients. Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Boy, I'm a bad man. That's why I stay out of trouble. I'm doing the honeydew list, doing the commercial breaks. I'm done. Shout out to my wife. Thank you for allowing me to be me. With that being said, let's get into poll rankings. Josh ain't the only one that can get some love right here. Shout out to us. See, I'm on the other side. My wife is Alabama A&M. So she's like, go do your tomfoolery over there and leave that alone. I took it to homecoming, so I won. They won. I won. We won. Life is good.
I supposed to do it, baby.
There you
be
go.
a family with 2
We're all winners. I don't know about the other folks on the ledge, though.
Some folks lost homecoming yesterday.
You right. Some folks did lose homecoming. You right about that.
We're going to get into it.
The one game you ain't supposed to lose.
You feel me?
Job's on the line. What
that problem with him, he just got there.
One of that school days, y'all gonna let me lose lose my job because I lost homecoming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dropping out this week. This past week, as you know, with Edgewater Tigers, Miles Golden Bears. Both of those teams that dropped out last week, they actually won. So it'll be interesting. So in terms of those receiving votes, Miles Golden Bears, they won this past weekend. Johnson C. Smith ended their season on a positive note as they won. Florida Memorial, as we said, they won as well in terms of their game conference opponent. We'll get into that. But at number 7, Fort Valley State Wildcats lose to the Albany State Golden Rams, their rivalry game 13-7 in defensive slugfest. So Fort Valley State falls to 73-6-2. They were not ranked in last week's poll, so we'll see what this means. Do they fall right back out? We shall see on Tuesday. At number 6, Tuskegee Golden Tigers lose to Miles Golden Bears, 35-10, 7-3 as they fall there in the conference race 6-2, creating a crash course of teams in the second spot. Drew kind of gave you an update of what that looked like. We'll get further into it. Number 5, Fayetteville State Broncos, quietly, if you would want to say, defeated Winston-Salem State, the Fighting Stephen Gaithers, 40-34. They improved to 8-2, 8-0. So Fayetteville continues to get it done. And Fayetteville will play in the CIAA championship game, and we'll tell you who they play in just short.
That's all.
Number 4. Yeah, exactly. At number 4, Allen Yellow Jackets lose to number 1, Benedict Tigers, 37-9. Allen Yellow Jackets, with a great season, didn't quite have the ability to make that final statement. It certainly wasn't as close as many of us thought it would be, as they fall to 7-3, 5-3. But credit to them, what they've gotten done this season when many people didn't even think they would be this close. At number 3, Virginia State Trojans. Dr. Henry Fraser III said he's ready for these games, but his players were not quite, as they lose to the number 2 Virginia Union Panthers, 30-20. They were on the road, tough contest, great game there. So they fall to 8-2, 6-2 on the season, and that means number 2, the Virginia Union Panthers, in terms of a semifinal matchup. It seems like basically for the Northern Division, they get it done as they defeat that number 3 Virginia State Trojans in that matchup. They are now 9-1 on the season, 7-1 overall. With that being said, they'll play and represent the Northern Division, if you would, for the CIAA championship. Should be a great game. It's actually a rematch of a regular season game that A.D. Drew always likes to refer to as the Hurricane game. in regards to that. Fayetteville State did win it, so it'll be fascinating to see can Virginia Union get a little revenge from this year and last year, actually. So, or what Fayetteville State says, we're not playing with y'all. We know what we're doing. And they get it done. Fascinating. One to watch next weekend. Bring us the number 1, the Benedict Tigers. Defeat number 4, Allen Yellow Jackets, their rival. They're 7-9. Dominate them, dominate the game, dominate the SIAC. They're 10-0 on the season, the only undefeated HBCU program. Left the season. They finished the regular season at 8-0, all 9 first-place votes. The Benedict Tigers are who we thought they were in terms of that, and they continue to show. They set down a showdown with the SIAC. They'll be in the championship game. It looks like from some reports that Albany State, the Golden Rams, will be the representative that will face them. That's not official, unless A.D. Drew can tell us otherwise. With that being said,
Mic check 1 2.
Yeah, we got
1 2.
Yep.
Okay, because I had turned my mic down for a second. But according to a release from the SIAC, and I believe that was on Thursday that they made this release, and I will read it verbatim. So that if you guys read into this, what I read into this, Albany State is the number 2 representative, and talked to a couple people from Albany State on yesterday. They've already got their hotel reservations for that. So
I think that makes
if they not the reservation, if they not the representative, then there's gonna be a lot of people hoping that they did refundables on those on those hotels. That's all I'm gonna say. Some reason it doesn't. It's not. Oh, there we go.
Perfect. With that being said, let me go to you, Charles. What are your thoughts on the top 7 of those big games? Any games stood out to you?
Benedict Tigers, I think, like you mentioned, they are who we thought they were. And especially, you want to give kudos to a team that goes undefeated a lot of times because they make it look easy week in, week out. We tend to, overlook that, but I don't want to overlook that this morning. That was an impressive victory over a really good Allen Yellow Jacket team. And Chennis Berry, take your hat out to what he's done with that program. Benedict is that monster of the SIAC. Good luck taking them on the SIAC championship game.
Good stuff. Joshua Sims Sr., let me go to you. What were your thoughts, top 7? Any games?
Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie, dog. I'm kind of like that news y'all just dropped. I'm kind of like sending out text messages like to see if like what in the world, bro. If Albany's in that game, I got a lot of family who with Albany State who would love to go to that game. Nonetheless, though, but to the top 7. Hey, Doc, come on. I know Dr. Frazier. I know he's not feeling it this morning. I ain't gonna send him no text.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I ain't gonna call him. But to you, everybody else's point, man, Benedict is who we thought they were. And a super kudos to Allen, man. That program has taken light years worth of jumps ahead as a program. So I gotta give some love to Allen, and then and I just hate that for Dr. Frazier, man, because I know that you right then, you right there. But shout out to Virginia Union, man. We got a rematch in the CIAA championship game coming up. Jada Byers, you know what I'm saying? He is who he say he is. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And then Fayetteville State is what everybody. Fayetteville State is Fayetteville State, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens, man. But I'm looking forward to this, Doc. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am. CIAA championship game, SIAC championship game, depending on who's actually. We know who already in it, but depending on what ends up coming out, I'm interested. I can't wait.
Certainly, A.D. Drew, I'm gonna come to you. Let me get your thoughts in terms of top 7 matchups. Top 7 poll rankings this week.
It's interesting that Fort Valley lost. Number 1, that was interesting. Not only that they lost, but the way they lost that particular game. Number 2, David Wright with the chance to basically sew up the Conference Player of the Year award with a good performance against Benedict. Did not do that, so that race is going to be wide open this week as they vote on Conference Player of the Year. Miles, way to bounce back after basically getting your honey handed to you by Albany State last week. Golden Bears were going out in that particular matchup. And let's talk about Albany State, a team that we left for dead after week 5, week 6. Now they are playing in the SIAC championship. You know, people said they wanted to see a new matchup that they hadn't seen this year because some people didn't want to see the Miles game against Benedict because Benedict had already beat Miles. Fort Valley did not have a good game against Benedict. Nowhere in those conversations did anyone say anything about Albany State. So, and last thing, I know they're outside the top 7, but I saw Florida Memorial live in person yesterday. And I understand why they gave Grambling fits and was able to put up 500 yards against Grambling. Those brothers down there are huge. I thought I saw a Division I team walking into that stadium yesterday just based on size. Had nothing to do with talent. They won the airport portion of this show, and they proved it on the field yesterday also.
Good stuff. Mike, let me come to you. Get your thoughts on any game that stood out top 7.
Well, there's one that's personal because I got family roots in Fort Valley. And
I heard you hemming and hawing over there.
Yeah, so that's always a big classic. That's always a classic game. I was texting my father-in-law who teaches at Fort Valley. He attended Fort Valley. My wife's parents, whole family went there. So we're dialed in. And earlier this year, I remember even on a couple of these shows, everybody fell in love with Miles. Ooh, Miles beat Alabama. Everybody was drinking the Miles Kool-Aid. They lost to Benedict by 3. Nobody was talking about it. Alabama's Albany State. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I say that right because everybody gets me on my pronunciation. Albany State. Nobody was talking about it. And here it comes to the classic. And it's a hardball game, 13-7. And now look where they are. So that one stood out to me for that reason. Defensive battle, but it's also a classic. So that one stood out to me. And my father-in-law, they had a few choice words to say about the referee, but we won't go there. So that one stands out the most to me.
Good stuff, Mike. Good stuff. He said maybe personally. Wow. Let's get into major division games where it gets interesting for some folks as well. You talking about those folks on the ledge. My goodness. Dropping out last week was Alabama A&M Bulldogs. They at least made it interesting for a half. But it seems like everybody makes it interesting for a half against the Rattlers. Then they wake up and they like, all right, that's enough. Yeah, bye. And they just leave you. So they couldn't get it done there at home in their last home game. Grambling State Tigers are no longer in the race in the West Division as they lost to Alabama State. That continues to get things done. And people were questioning whether the coach needed to go about midway through the season. I would guess that has probably changed. Hampton Pirates are 5-4, 3-3 as they improve. Looking to see if they can get a winning record. Kudos to the Pirates. Up and down season, but could have a win. Solid. Howard Bison. Oh, major letdown. 4-5, 2-1 on the season. They still have stuff on the line. Well, maybe not. Let me stop. Number 7.
Is that a letdown, though? Never mind. Is that really?
Number 7, Southern Jaguars. They lose to the number 5 Alcorn State Braves, and they get beat up 44-21. I'm not sure if the game was as close as the score there. 5-4, 4-2. Previous ranked 5, they dropped to 7. Charles, I'm officially come to you once it's done. I'm coming to you first because I know what you want to do. And number 6, Alabama State Hornets defeat the Grambling State Tigers 17-6. Defensive slugfest there. They slow down Grambling, who offense was doing everything early this year, but they kind of hit some snags of late. Alabama State improves to 5-3, 4-2 in the conference rate. Solidly in the second position up there. At number 5, Alcorn State Braves defeat number 7 Southern Jaguars, as I said. So they improved to 6-3 and 5-1 when everybody was ever ready to bury the Braves after they lost to Prairie View.
Yep.
Charles said, slow down.
Charles said it.
He did say that.
He did it. He did.
At number 4, Jackson State Tigers defeat Texas Southern Tigers 21-19. Man, the Tigers just it's one of those seasons. They tie the game up, go for two, can't do it to get it tied.
Yeah.
And the Jackson State Tigers go home smiling as they continue to win. 7-3, 5-2. They stay at number 4 though. At number 3, Tennessee State Tigers. Everybody was excited about the Tigers. Joshua said, y'all don't want this in your life. And then they could be more Charleston Southern Buccaneers in their life. They fall 63, 2-2 on the season. They fall 14 in terms of that matchup. Disappointing there. At number 2, Florida A&M Rattlers defeat Alabama A&M Bulldogs 42-28. They improved to 8-1, 7-0 in the conference race, 5 first-place votes. Remember, they dropped from the number 1 ranking after a couple of weeks last weekend, and number 1 North Carolina Central, as they have their first week in the number 1 position this week, defeat Norfolk State Spartans 38-24. They improved to 8-1, 3-0, leading the MEAC. So it'll be interesting as we go forward. Before I go to Joshua, who just seems like having a great I gotta go to Charles first because I promised it.
Well, you know, Doc, I think finally maybe now the Braves fans and Braves fanatics, you can quit firing Fred there. I mean, it's just it is a normal ritual year after year to fire Fred there. But shout out to the big bad Braves. They came through in a big way yesterday in terms of handling business at home. And, you know, it was in dominant fashion. And I think that the thing that really stuck out was the young man who had a couple of interceptions yesterday in terms of his post-game presser, mentioning not being recruited. And then he actually talked about some of the things that Jag Nation has been, you know, harping on week after week in terms of the familiarity with the play calling and things of that nature. So that really stood out yesterday. Shout out to the Tallahassee Visitors and Convention Bureau. You're about to make some money.
Yep.
The city of Tallahassee is really about to make some money. We've seen with the economic models, what the SWAC championship, what it brings to the city, what it brings to the campus, things of that nature. Kudos to Rattle Nation. So those are things that stuck out for me yesterday.
He said the Tallahassee Visitor Brew got the win.
They won, got the homecoming win.
Joshua Sims Sr., what is on your mind?
Hey, listen, Doc, I came on the show last week. Chuck was gone last week, so we couldn't do our patent. Just, you know what I mean? Well, he came on the show last week, and I said 2 things. I said, Tennessee State, you don't want these problems. Watch your mouth. We got soap and water for that blasphemy y'all putting in y'all mouth right now. And how? I mean, we try to make it beautiful for y'all. We try to help y'all out. We want to make it great. We want all of it to be set up. And look what y'all going to do. Look what y'all going to do. Y'all go wet the bed. You know, it was all types of stuff happening down in Orangeburg this weekend, and y'all go wet the bed. Man, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, Fam, Jackson, you know what I mean? And shout out to Coach Taylor, man. Listen, it's very difficult to win these amount of games in your first year as a head coach. Look across the landscape, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody else losing in their first season. That brother down there setting the record straight. In comparison to his contemporary, I ain't gonna go there. Nonetheless, shout out to Coach Taylor and what he's doing down at Jackson State. Great win yesterday. Came to a nail biter, but you take the ugly wins like you take the pretty ones. And then Prairie View, baby. That's how you hold it down for homecoming. And I got to say this, Doc, because I haven't said this, and I wasn't on the bandwagon because I'm not an Alcorn State grad, so I don't have a dog in that fight to be, you know, throwing Coach McNair out of the school or keeping him there. I don't have a dog in that fight, but I got to say this. Alcorn State is the scariest team not named Florida A&M in that.
Very much so. Right.
They're the scariest team. And what makes it even scarier, Doc, is they ain't played, fam.
No,
that's true. That makes it, dog. If he's not named Jeremy Musa, Aaron Allen is the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year if your name is not Jeremy Jerome Musa.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's all I got to say. But as far as with the top dogs, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
It is Sunday. We got Joshua preaching over here. We thought it was election Tuesday. He didn't went to the preacher pulpit. With that being said, Katie Drew, what was your biggest game this weekend that stood out to you? Top 7.
You know why Aaron Allen is one of the top contenders for SWAC Offensive Player of the Year? It's because he started the season at Alcorn as the backup quarterback. It seems like every other year, somebody who starts the season as the backup quarterback at Alcorn winds up being in the race for Conference Player of the Year if they don't wind up winning the whole doggone thing. Sure. So for all, I'll kind of on this front. For all y'all talking about what Fred McNair don't do, I can tell you what he does do, and that's develop a backup quarterback. That backup quarterback can come in and throw some dives, throw some bullets. Moving on down the line, of course, we're going to have the comparison once again: Florida A&M, North Carolina Central, Florida A&M. Going to be a little tougher this week. Both of them essentially won by the same score, same margin. So you really can't. And I'm just being honest. It's really kind of hard to judge about the performance on Saturday. Very similar performances out of two teams, and that's a good thing. HBCUs. Let me tell y'all the secret. Do not play a Gabe Giardina coach team, whether he works for an HBCU or he no longer works for an HBCU. Because all he does is beat HBCUs. He did it at Albany State. He ran through SIAC when he was at Albany State. Now he's gone over to Charleston Southern. And for all those Tennessee State people who had something over there, he'd have shut down another HBCU in Tennessee State and took their hopes and their dreams away from them. So
you
shout out to Coach Gabe Giardina.
Drew. You cold-blooded, Drew.
I knew where he's going.
Shout out to Coach Gabe Giardina. Just like Hampton is the HBCU killers, Coach Gabe is the HBCU killers as a coach. And that last thing, is there another team that's hotter than Alabama State right now?
Yeah.
Alabama State, although they can't win it, they can spoil a whole lot of things out here.
Yep, you sure right. Mike, what you got?
I was thankful and prayerful that Prairie View played Alcorn when they did. That monster yesterday, they didn't want that. They did not want that. I'm serious. They did not want. If you saw that game, I sat and watched that game in the suite. Nobody wants to play Alcorn right now. That's the hottest team, I agree. And FAMU, stop jacking up the hotel costs. I look at hotel costs. It's $500.
It's Tallahassee, bro. It's Tallahassee, man.
That's Tallahassee. Stop jacking up these hotel rates. I'm serious. You can look 50 miles outside.
Man, you better come on up here to Georgia and stay.
It's the West Hill Hotel.
You better come on to Georgia. Stop it, FAMU. Okay, you winning. All right. But that's my takeaway. I mean, seriously, leave Fred McNair alone. He does it every year. Leave the man alone. Every year. He's on the hot box. For what? Now, I tell you what, Dooley is starting to have that, this is what Odom was going through.
Oh, boy.
If you listen to that Southern Chatterbox, I see what Odom was going through. Seriously. So that's my other takeaway.
Good stuff, man. Oh, man, what a segment. We'll be right back.
Even the Motel 6 go for $269.
$269 from what hotel?
Motel's $269 right now in Tallahassee.
We'll be right back after this break.
Man, them expensive hotels.
It don't make no darn sense, man. It don't make no darn sense. I call.
It's like a loop machine.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Mills inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Let's get into some of these key matchups we did this past weekend. We start with the mid-major games. As you heard us coming into this, we had some good ones. Now let's get into those particular matchups. Mid-major classic game of the week, Columbia, Georgia, Bragg Memorial Stadium, Fountain City Classic. Albany State Golden Rams get it done. They improved 7-4, 7-2 as they defeat number 7 Fort Valley State Wildcats. This is a top 10 matchup in a lot of ways. As you had the Wildcats fall to 7-4 and 6-3. Defensive slugfest 13-7. Mike, what are your thoughts in terms of what took place in this game?
Well, first of all, you went 3 quarters, and it was Fort Valley game. 3 quarters, 7-0. That's a defensive slug if I've ever seen one. Then we get into the the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, Albany State puts in. How did they do it? Rushing the ball. I don't know what happened to that line at Fort Valley. The first 3 quarters, they were fine. And all of a sudden, if you look at the stats on the fourth quarter, Albany State was able to rush the ball a little bit more. They were able to pass the ball a little bit more. And the stats, if you look at the stats, they don't really tell you the story. But if you saw pieces of that game, you saw kind of a tired Fort Valley. I don't know if it was attrition. I don't know if it was the weather or what. But something happened in that fourth quarter that Albany State was able to rush the ball a little bit more. So kudos to them. So, you had quarterback play that was good, but I would say that fourth quarter was game on game, where, Jaden Sullivan had a couple of 1-yard, 11-yard runs, and they weren't at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They were toward the end. Mm-hmm. So this was a game of attrition and which team wanted it more. So at the end of the day, it came out, it was Albany State.
You talking about lifting up those 4. You see everybody do it around the country in that fourth quarter. Well, obviously, the Golden Rams took it seriously when they lifted up those 4 and got it done. With that being said, let's go to our independent mid-major game of the week. Thomasville, Georgia, Veterans Memorial Stadium. Number 10 Florida Memorial Lions improved to 6-3, 5-1 in the conference race in that Sun Conference. Thomas Nighthawks are 1-7, 1-5. As the final score was 37-24. Drew got a bird's eye view of this matchup. Drew, what were your thoughts?
Well, Memorial took possession of the ball, scored on their first offensive possession. But then Thomas, first time they touched the ball on offense, scored a touchdown on a 65-yard run. So everybody in the stadium was kind of hyped, kind of like, all right, we got a chance against this team. Not so fast. Florida Memorial continue to put on the full court press and to go up on Thomas. But Thomas, a team that fights and will not go away, scored 17 points on the Lions there in the fourth quarter. 1 turnover entire game. It was by Florida Memorial, and it gave Thomas an opportunity down 37-24 with an opportunity to go and to put 6 more on the board. But the Florida Memorial defense held firm for St. Thomas to get the ball up on down. And from that point, Florida Memorial was essentially able to control the game, the running game, and run out the clock on the Nighthawks.
Florida Memorial is looking good as they try to close out the season. They got a big one next week to make a statement as pretty solid season as you talked about. Kaiser University, to be fascinating to see what goes up there. With that being said, let's get into the CIAA mid-major game of the week. Richmond, Virginia, Movie Field, L. Douglas Wilder Classic. You all know by now what was on the line. Top 3 matchup. It doesn't get much better than this. Number 2, Virginia Union Panthers. Get it done. Live up to all the hype. 9-1, 7-1. Defeat the upstart number 3, Virginia State Trojans that fall to 8-2, 6-2. 30-20 was the final score. Joshua Sims Sr., take it away.
Yeah, man, this was CIAA football, man. This was the matchup that we talked about for weeks that could end up happening in the CIAA North. And would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, that Virginia Union got this done through the air? Most all of their touchdowns yesterday through the air, including Jada Byers' only touchdown yesterday. Still went for $155 on the ground yesterday, but had 168 total yards yesterday, and his only and long touchdown goes through the air. Virginia Union goes on an air attack that nobody saw coming. We thought that Virginia Union was going to ground and pound this game, and Virginia State's team was going to have to play really good defense to stop the run. But wow, man, Virginia Union does it. This was a close game, Doc. This was a close game. But that early touchdown in the first quarter turned out to be the deciding factor. Second quarter was a back-and-forth chess match. Third quarter was a little bit more of the same even game. And then in the fourth quarter, ain't nobody score. And it became a defensive juggernaut, almost keep away, a game of keep away in the fourth quarter. But, man, I am so surprised. I was so surprised to watch this game a little bit on the CIAA Sports Network yesterday, and was so surprised to see Virginia Union win this game so efficiently through the air. That was the biggest surprise for me yesterday to see that. Shout out to Virginia Union. Shout out to that coaching staff and that program and those young men who came together and won that game yesterday. Now it's time for the CIAA championship game.
If the Panthers can get it done in that championship, that bodes well in terms of Virginia Union playoffs. The fact that now they have a different way that they can win a football game, that could be intriguing moving forward. With that being said, let's talk to the other side. The number 1 team. There's a top 4 matchup in this game in Columbia, South Carolina. Charlie W. Johnson Stadium. You had the number 1 Benedict Tigers as they improved to 10-0, 8-0 on the season. They were at number 4 Allen Yellow Jackets at 7-3, fall to 7-3, I should say, 6-3 in the conference race. Final score of the game was 37-9, so it was not really that close in terms of these top teams. Good game, good matchup. Charles, what were your thoughts in terms of those Benedict Tigers?
Yeah, well, shout out to Benedict Tigers in terms of being the first HBCU team since Winston-Salem State got it done in 2011, 2012 to have about back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. So shout out to Coach Chinsbury with regards to that. And when you talk about this game yesterday, they got it done early. They capitalized off of Allen turnovers in the first quarter. They scored on off of turnovers on 2 of their first 3 possessions, 21-7 there in the first quarter. They were able to coast the rest of the way through the game, 37-9. But when you take a look at it, normally we talk about Luka Denlis in terms of that defensive prowess leading the charge. Yesterday, it was actually a young man by the name of, oh my goodness, he got it done yesterday. Joshua Barker, talking about 8 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks yesterday, Dr. Bill. So this Benedict defense, they got it done yesterday against a really, really good Allen offense in terms of limiting what David Wright was able to do. Can't take your head off enough to Benedict Tigers in terms of what they were able to get done.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. Last one here we got. We're going to go back to AD as we go to Fairfield, Alabama, Charles Sloan Stadium. Another top 10 matchup. Number 8, Miles Golden Bears improved to 7-3, 6-2, defeat their rival in the number 6 Tuskegee Golden Tigers. They fall to 7-3, 6-2, 35-10. game wasn't quite that close at the end. Little nip and tuck early in it. Drew, what are your thoughts?
Games started off, Tuskegee knowing everything that they had on the line. Started off well, scoring the first time that they touched the ball on offense after forcing Miles to punt the ball. Tuskegee up 7-0 early. Miles able to come back, tie the score, and then ultimately take the lead early in the second quarter. And then Tuskegee was able to get a field goal as time expired in the second quarter to make the score 14-10. So if you're a Golden Tigers fan at that point, all right, we've got a chance in this particular match because we've got the ball coming out first in the second half. Well, not a good thing. Both teams traded punts there early in the third quarter. And then it looks like there was a turnover, but Miles was unable to capitalize on it. But it looks like the Miles offense was able to finally click and figure out that they could take advantage of the Tuskegee secondary and big play, touchdown, Miles. Get the ball back. Another big play. Not a touchdown, but he gets stopped on the one, so the quarterback takes it in on the next play for the touchdown. And then that's when you started seeing the wheels fall off the Tuskegee train. And those trains, they got the tow truck out there on the tracks right now, picking up all the scraps as Tuskegee went up to Fairfield, Alabama, and essentially laid an egg with everything in their own hands, and the yoke is all on the Golden Tigers.
Man, well done, A.D. Drew, because you broke this down at least 3 weeks ago, maybe a little further back. You said when all this lines out, if you're looking at everything, you're looking at the schedule, this is Tuskegee. They got this and this and that. The last thing I have to do is tough one against the route. Everything else is going to line up. And it rolled just like you said. And as you said, they decided to go on the train wreck and picking up the parts. So well said, well done. With that being said, let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side, talk a little bit about the major division, and get some final thoughts for the show. Stick with us. Be right back after this break.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
It's like a loop machine. Your ad could be ran here. MyJBN.com/support. MyJBN.com/support for more information.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head and Shoulders.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
You got it down though.
Hold it.
This is Dr. Mills inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I love the intro because it sticks. It sticks. North Charleston, South Carolina was literally the scene of the crime. Buccaneers Field, Big South OVC. Man, number 3 Tennessee State Tigers fall to 6-3, 2-2. Just when everybody was ready to get excited, they were talking about BCS Black College National Championships, and the Tigers are risen from the dead. Well, maybe that was a little too fast. As they lose to Charleston Southern Buccaneers, 4-5, 2-2. This really makes it tight in terms of the race in the Big South OVC, with everything being serious. They still have a chance at a winning season, as they had clinched that last week, obviously, so that was big news. But they fall 35-21. It was a back and forth game, actually tied at 21 at one point. But with that being said, Drew, what were your final thoughts on this overall match?
This was another case of exactly what happened in Fairfield, Alabama, with Tennessee State having their own destiny in their hands. With UT Martin losing, Tennessee State, with a victory, could have pulled themselves tied for second place with everything in their own hand for a majority of their destiny in their own hands for the rest of the season. And when you go back and look at this, Dr. Cavil, it makes you wonder how Tennessee State even lost this game. I mean, 17 first downs to 7. Total yards, 269, 192. Not a pretty game as far as if you like offense. This was a slugfest offense. Red zone efficiency. Tennessee State, 3 or 4. Charleston Southern, 2 or 3. Time of possession, Tennessee State, 31-41. Charleston Southern, 28-19. So when I look up and the score is tied at 21-21, Tennessee State had to come back and get that touchdown. You're like, all right, Tennessee State woke up. They supposed to take control of this game. How the hell do you lose a game with all that in your favor? 1 interception.
Turnover.
5 fumbles. 3 of them. Let's do the math. That's 4 turnovers to 1. That's how you lose a game to Charleston Southern.
That's it. When you get in there, classic matchup.
Hold the ball.
Well, that's how you lose it. Turnovers will get you in trouble every time, unless you're really that imposing. But you have that discrepancy in the margin difference, it's hard to get it done. Let's get into our classic game of the week. We go to Mobile, Alabama, Port City Classic, what they call it, Lad People Stadium. Top 10 matchup. I was really intrigued about this matchup. Knew in one way that this was a chance for Grambling to make a statement and try to keep their name in the West race. Alabama State had a chance to continue to further win and solidify themselves, as also in terms of making a statement for the East, which Charles told us literally 3 years ago. Y'all need to watch out for them. And at this point, I certainly don't doubt you, but I'm getting a little concerned in terms of what the East continues to do more than not against the West. Fascinating to me. This time they do it in a defensive way. Alabama State Hornets improved to 5-3 One went away from a winning season, 4-2 in the conference race. They had that big win over Jackson State, and both of them are tied for second, which is a statement. As they are behind FAMU, that has showcased that they are the top of the league at this point. Versus number 8, Grambling State, that I'm sure there are going to be a lot of Grambling State Tigers are disappointed. 4-5, 3-3. What were your thoughts in terms of this matchup and why it came out the way it did?
Yeah, interesting backstory. We're looking at this game. Miles Crowell going against his former team in Alabama State. But when you're talking about this Alabama State team, you're talking about their defense. And again, it was another strong defensive effort. They intercepted Miles Crowell twice yesterday. The big thing, I think, and this has been the secret to the sauce for Grambling, has been Chance Williams and Floyd Chalk. But yesterday, Alabama State limited Grambling's rushing attack to only 62 yards of rushing. And then I haven't seen a team yet in the SWAC that can stop the SWAC's version of Megatron, and it's Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson, another big way. Yeah, I mean, they only threw for 95 yards. He had 64. So, that was huge.
Two-thirds of y'all bad thirds.
I mean, dude is a specimen in terms of trying to guard him, but he had another big day. But like I said,
67% of their pass.
Yeah, 67% of their pass. I mean, when you take a look at what he's able to get done for them on the offensive side of the ball, they just got to find ways to get him the ball probably more consistently. But they're one of the hottest teams I think in the SWAC right now with a defense like that. You talked about not wanting to see Alcorn. That's another team. You just don't want to see down the stretch. And I think there is a certain school that has Alabama State still left out there on their schedule. So.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah.
Last home game.
The hottest team in the SWAC
season with that. So, you can see it play out again. You'd be like, huh? And Bubba will be squarely. He woke back up. A lot of folks decided after this, but he got to find a way to at least finish the deal from his side.
Yeah.
Alcorn gets it done. That's a different thing. But he doesn't want to be in a position where Alcorn stubs the toe against Jackson State. That game leaving out there, and then it's all yours, and you can't get it done against Alabama State Hornets.
Very much so.
That will be fascinating. Let's switch gears and go to our brothers over there in the MEAC. MEAC Division Game of the Week, Orangeburg, South Carolina, Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. The South Carolina State Bulldogs 4-5 as they improved to 4-5, 2-1. I told everybody coming in this matchup, I even said it during the football media day, this was going to be fascinating. I was South Carolina State. It was their homecoming. And I was looking at it, Buddy Pugh had a chance. He needed to run the table. The players needed to get it done for him to find a way to run the table, and they could finish with a winning record as he exits and retires. I said all that. And then you get the news in the middle of the week that the athletic director was no longer going to be in position to get the job unless she resigned immediately, basically that Friday before the game, which took on a whole different direction. Joshua, you kind of alluded to this in a little bit. And then I said, hey, but it's number 10, the Howard Bison, who fall to 4-5 because of this loss, fall to 2-1, meaning they were undefeated. They had a chance to get a solid win, make a statement, host the game against what now is the number 1 ranked North Carolina Central Eagles, both going in 3-0. And the Bison this time could not come from behind to get it done. They fall 27-24. They did push a comeback, but it wasn't enough. With that being said, Joshua Sims Sr., I'm really intrigued to see what your thoughts are in terms of this matchup.
Doc, there's so many ways. Football is a multi-layered, multi-dimensional sport. I think that there are other sports that are similar, but just not the same. There are so many components to the game of football that end up impacting the outcome of the game. When you start hearing the analysts and the pundits talk about third down efficiency, yards per carry, time of possession, efficiency, quarterback rating efficiency. When you start hearing statements and data points, to my brother Mike's point, data points like this, it begins to make you have to peel back the layers of a game for you to truly understand how the outcome ends up going. So just a little bit into my coaching mind. Just a little bit into my coaching mind, because I cannot go too deep into this. And then I would just start going down a rabbit hole from a coaching perspective. Check this out. 2 of 14 on third down efficiency.
That's not good.
Not good at all.
Check this. 193 passing yards to 19 passing yards. 53 rushing yards. 2 yards per carry. Time of possession, similar. But this is the one that's most alerting. Somebody yesterday, I don't want to talk about this because it hurts my heart that we let this young brother get out of our backyard and make his way down to Orangeburg, South Carolina. 27 carries for 283 rushing yards. Averaged a first down and a half, 3 touchdowns. And check this out. His biggest run yesterday was for 85 yards. You want to know how or why you lose a football game? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You lost the third down battle. You were completely inefficient on third down. You only rushed for less than 70 rushing yards. And you allowed a true freshman to rush for 283 rushing yards. So don't ask why you lost the football game. Don't ask if it had anything to do with Quentin Williams. He balled out yesterday. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk about Q Will being the reason why they lose games. 16 of 29 for $193 yesterday, 2 passing touchdowns. Can't ask for more efficiency at somebody else's homecoming. But you gave up 200, you gave up 438 rushing yards yesterday. They went 3 for 11 for 19 yards through the air. 19 yards? You gave up 438 rushing yards. Talk about making a team one-dimensional and you still lose in a one-dimensional game. I digress. I mean no harm. I mean no hurt. It's Sunday. It's the Sabbath in some religions. In other religions, it's just a day for you to be able to chill. So I digress. I'll leave it there, Doc. I don't mean no hurt, harm, or danger.
Yeah, I got to repeat that. 438 yards on 46 carries.
Yeah.
That's 9.5 yards a carry as a team.
Yeah.
They had
That's a
2
first down.
guys that rushed for a first down every time they touched the ball on average. He talked about Juwan Howe, 10.5 on the average, but you have Corey Fields at 13.7, the quarterback. No wonder he didn't pass the ball. He'd have to.
You have to do
You have to.
I just got to throw something.
And that means
out
you
there.
lose all the time in possession because all you need to do, it don't matter how efficient you are on the quarterback because you can't keep off the field.
Move the sticks. First down. Every time you run, first down. Every time you hand the ball off, first down. Every time the quarterback take a snap, first down. And you let Corey Fields do that, and you got Mr. Dual Threat coming into your town next week.
Oh my God.
I'm sure the linebackers are sitting around looking at the defensive line like, how many gaps y'all gonna miss?
What is this? Exactly.
Drew, you want
Chuck, last thing, Chuck. Chuck, last thing though, Chuck. Not only the defensive line, but they was making the linebackers look silly. You get to the next level, and you out here.
He said they had linebackers on skates. 80 Drew.
Hey, Those kind of stats kind of remind me of Kentucky State a couple of years ago with that offense that they had, the SIAC, when they were running their triple option offense. But this is not a triple option offense, and you still put up those kind of numbers. And how many attempts did you say that brother had, once again, Joshua? How many rushing attempts?
27.
Let's put this into perspective. We see games where we don't see 27 attempts by an entire team. Sometimes by both teams combined, and one person had 27 attempts yesterday.
If you had a team stat that rushed for 283 yards, you would be like, yes.
Yes. Hey, well, 280 on the ground.
This is one person.
Human being. You let one human being do that to you. And he is a true freshman. This time last year, he was in high school taking class.
Oh, Lord. Let me get out of here. One last shout out to South Carolina State. The stadium holds 22,000. They announced attendance at 22,269, 100%. Getting it done.
Shout out South Carolina State, I like that.
With that, let me go to the last game. We're going back to the SWAC Major Division game. Lorman, Mississippi certainly was the scene of this crime if you're a Southern Jaguar. Phoenix Case in the stadium. I sure wish B.J. Jones was here because you talking about some faces and some words.
Let me get out the camera shot.
He'd be like, I got something to say. But we got the next one up. He'll do it justice. Number 5. This is nice one. Top 7 matchup. We said everything going into it. This was all you wanted. Man, we was in the suite. Took us forever to get the broadcast. We looking at the score. We was like, okay, we finally get it on. We like, this is what we thought.
This
to get up and watch.
This can't be true. No. Let me shake this thing. This can't. No. This can't. No. Maybe it's a connection. It can't be true. I'm seriously.
I know you did.
This was one game. You needed a complete game from Harold Flood. You got nothing, everything short of a complete game. You know my data points? 2 for 8. 2 for 8 on third down. No, I'm sorry, 2 for 11. That's less than 20%. Less than 20%. How many yards you have rushing? 69. 69. Man, let me just pull out these data points seriously before I get to the real heat of the matter. Look at this. 2.3 yards a rush. That means every time you rush, and that's across 3 different running backs. 3 different running backs. 69 yards, 2.3 yards rush. 3 running backs. 5 turnovers. 3 of those were interceptions, and 2 of those are what I call gimme that's. You ever play smear the queer? You get a kid the ball, and then he got to run for a touchdown, and somebody try to take it away. Yep. These were not fumbles. These were gimme that's. Give me that ball. Dude, Keenan Leachman, if you see the play, he basically met the running back at the line and said, give me that, and took the ball and ran all the way down, 37 yards for a touchdown. Very next turnover, very next possession. What does Harold Flood do? He throws a pick 6. That set the tone for the whole game. Offensive line, when you play football, the offensive line has to come to play. It did not come to play. I think they were somewhere down. They must have went to Bourbon Street somewhere because they didn't show up yesterday at all. That Alcorn State, that line, they basically said, give me your lunch, give me your money, give me your clothes. This is our game.
And give me your milk.
Come to that. This was domination. And the receiving game for Alcorn, they had an 85-yard, a 58-yard pass. But that was not the stickler because Aaron Allen had a great game. When you see those receivers run, the missed tackles, it was like a video game. It was like 3 or 4 people could not tackle these receivers. I don't know what happened. Alcorn State bought the game, but like I said, nobody wants to play Alcorn State right now. Not right now. And that was the one game you needed Harold Flood to have a complete game. He did not. That made them one-dimensional. Well, they couldn't rush at all. 2.3 yards a carry. Not good. Oh, you need to have the ball. They only had the ball 20 minutes of the game. The other 40 minutes belonged to the team from Mississippi. So total domination whatsoever. That was a beatdown. I think the headline said Alcorn State blitzes Southern. No, that was a beatdown.
Yeah.
That's a really tough day for Harold Bloom. That's a really tough day. And I'm not sure what the answer is with regards to Southern's offense because the frustrating part, I think, if you're a Southern fan, is you see the pieces there. You see the Kennedy runs, you see the speed on the outside, but for whatever reason, it just hadn't gotten done on the offensive side of the ball this year.
Yep. Yeah, they are struggling offense.
Yes.
Really all year long. But there's some of the games where you might touch on it. You think maybe they're turning the corner. Yeah. In the next game, it goes well. Which is interesting because now you have Prairie View going down the next week, which is basically elimination game.
Yeah, for either one.
For the Western Division.
Question.
AD, you had a question?
Yeah. Back in July, the question for Southern was quarterback.
Yep.
So, but let's dive into that question. Is it the quarterbacks in the room, or is it what they're teaching to quarterbacks? Because I still say the best quarterback on campus is the coach, the quarterback coach. So something's going wrong in the translation. Either they're not recruiting the right athlete for that system, or the athletes are too stubborn or too hard-headed to implement the system, or the system just doesn't work. But for whatever the thing is, the Jaguars are not getting consistent results. It's just that simple.
I think it goes a little deeper than that. I know a lot of people look in that direction, and that's probably fair, but I have seen something all year long. That offensive line. That offensive line has not gotten any push.
Yep.
You've seen with their inability to run the ball, and it's affecting what they're doing on the passing side of the ball too. Because you don't have
which means the quarterback is affected if he has no time.
Exactly, Drew. Exactly where I was going to go. So I think there's some major issues, and people are looking at everything else, coaching, and obviously you can put it on coaching to some degree because they recruit the players on the offensive line. But I think a lot of people are more looking at it coaching in terms of play calling and who he has as a signal caller. At this point, there may be some of that, but I think a larger issue that makes it a challenge is the offensive line. You may have a quarterback that can come in there every once in a while, but consistently over a year, you have a problem if you can't get any good run blocking. And then you also have a set that really can't pass block either. You got a major problem on the offensive line.
Exactly.
Let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side with our final segment where we'll look into some of the key matchups for next weekend. But I also want to make sure we touch on the number 1 and number 2 team, at least in terms of the final score, as they continue to look like what is a collision course. We talked about some of the teams that are out there that they need to be watch out for. We'll set it up next week for a matchup, both in the MEAC and SWAC. So stick with us after this last break, and we'll come back on the other side and give you a final segment, final thoughts from these gentlemen here on what took place. And we'll put a pin on at least the 2023 homecoming for North Carolina Central and Prairie View A&M University.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and his associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients. Call T. Madden & Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a lot, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Boy, those breaks, I'm glad they're not recorded. With that being said, let's get back into it. Number 1 ranked North Carolina Central Eagles as they took over the number 1 spot. They defeated Norfolk State Spartans 38-24. They continue to be what we thought they are and continue to do what they do. The number 2 ranked Florida A&M Rattlers defeat the Alabama A&M Bulldogs 42-28 as they continue to do what they're supposed to do and make a statement. Well, I really wanted to get into a couple of key matchups this weekend. I think it's obvious. On the west side, you have Prairie View at Southern.
Yep. Saturday
game. Prairie View comes at 4-5, defeating Pine Bluff. We said this weekend, Southern comes off the losing to Alcorn State 5-4. Big matchup here. What are your thoughts, Mike, in terms of this matchup?
Originally, when we started, we said, we know Southern's big, right? We didn't know how good the quarterback was. Looking at them play against FAMU and then against Alcorn, you see some real issues, not only with the offensive line, but the quarterback play. We just talked about that. If Prairie View can pull a complete game, and I would say complete, go on the road like they did at Alcorn, even though it's early in the season, and they get solid play out of Trayvon Conley, they spread the ball across the several receivers they have, and they run it, and they have a balanced offense. Prairie View has a strong chance to go into Baton Rouge and take this one. That's a big hit because even though Prairie View played a solid game, we've seen times where one drive, they're like, that's the Prairie View we know and expected. And then we'll see another drive where Trayvon Conley, what were you thinking? What's up with the play calling? So if they can put together a consistent game, they have a great shot at going against this. I don't know where they went, offensive line for Southern, and running the ball and offensively, basically meeting them defensively as well, because their efficiency has been almost worse at times, much worse than Prairie View A&M. If you look at them across the last 4 games, so it'll be interesting which team shows up and can Prairie View be balanced without the mistakes and maintain that consistency.
Good one. I'm gonna go to you, Charles, for this one. This was a sneaky one for me. First, they moved the game to Sunday. That's Alcorn State come off a big victory over Southern. Now they got to go on the road. They control their own destiny. They come in at 6-3, as you know. They play Texas Southern. That's 2-7. They haven't quit, obviously. They're at home. Do they have a chance to finally find a way to get over a hump and get a key win where they have been close but no cigar? Is this the one they can get done? Will they shock the world?
They can if they don't turn the ball over. I think that's the big thing with Texas Southern. This is a team that has talent on both sides of the ball, and they're easily one of the best rushing teams in the SWAC. And I think that's the big thing. You have to worry with regards to Texas Southern, with regards to them shooting themselves in the foot. And that's tough to say because you see the talent, you see the pieces there, yet week in, week out, they figure out a way to hand over games, if you will. And I think that's been the biggest thing. But when you talk about Ladarius Owens and Ja'Cory Howard, they're going to give you a full 4 quarters. They're tough, and their offensive line is nasty. So Alcorn has to be prepared. They have to be ready. But to that very thing, Texas Southern has to figure out a way to not shoot themselves in the foot.
Good stuff. The other one over here is a Friday, November 10th game. This is unique. It's on ESPN. It's a Friday. It'll be interesting to see. It's a Western Division game. Grambling coming off a tough road loss, 4-5. Pine Bluff is at 1-8 off the road loss 2 as well. The number 2 team, Florida A&M, last home game for the seniors. They play Lincoln, California. Obviously, FAMU comes in at 8-1, but Lincoln, California is 0-11. So we're going to switch it, go into the MEAC in terms of what obviously will be the game of the week, which is North Carolina Central, the number 1 ranked team at 8-1. It's on ESPNU. Howard University is hosting at 4-5, tough road loss. Homecoming in this matchup. Joshua Sims, what are your thoughts in terms of this matchup? Maybe not quite the hype that we had before the loss of Howard, where both teams would have came in 3-0, but quietly kept. With just one loss, obviously, if you can find a way to get it done, I know a lot of people are not going to think in there, you would have the head to. So Howard still has a lot to play for in terms if they can muster it up and get it done. We talked about the concern. Plays right in the hands in a lot of ways of Central. What are your thoughts in terms of this matchup?
Yeah, Doc, if I could just flash back a little bit from about 2 or 3 months ago, I talked about that there was one game on our schedule, not because we thought that they were a formidable foe, but because at MEAC Media Day, there was a question that was asked by Jay Walker on the stage about how we felt about Howard being and parading themselves around as the co-champions. And I came on, I talked to you about it. We talked about it on HBCU Nightly, but I talked to you specifically about this, Doc, and I told you that I had never seen a team that had so much forward for them. I had never personally seen a team have so much going forward for them, and opportunity going forward for them to circle. You talk about it, you talk about teams circling a game on their schedule, and you like everything that they have in their being is focused on making a statement in a specific game. I had never seen a team actually do it in real time. Like, I've been a coach, I played, like, you have rivalry games and you have games that you just get up for. Like, we play against School Down the Highway, we always gonna get up for that game. We play against Winston-Salem State, we always gonna get up for that game. But I saw this team in particular, as they were coming back down from Norfolk and going back to Durham, I saw them walk out of there. I was talking to one of the coaches, and they were like, Mike, you ever seen somebody that like something happened and they be like, okay. Yep. Okay. I didn't know how serious it was until last night. I was texting last night with some of the players after the game, and after the game, they swung by the bowl and said hello to everybody, but then they all left and went back to their room. And our All-American quarterback last night didn't go out. I asked him if it was, I told him be safe and if he was going out. He didn't go out. He said, and I quote, "I have a statement that I'm going to make to the country next Saturday." I was a B+ high school football player. You know what I mean? I stepped into North Carolina Central and played behind some All-Americans and, and made my way on the special teams. And I ain't saying that for everybody else, I know that the intrigue has gone down because they lost to Howard last week. But, because they lost to South Carolina State yesterday. But I'm telling you right now, as God is my witness, there is a message that these young men are trying to send. It ain't a get-up game for everybody else in the world. But for these young men, they have a statement they are trying to make. I don't know how this going to look. I don't know what this going to look like. But I've never seen this team more motivated than they are right now. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And they've been quiet. They haven't said anything. Doc, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I was there.
These
I
guys
was there in Norfolk for that, and I heard it clear as they were making it around. Yeah. It was serious. It was very palpable that the Central did not, those players there, not the coach, but the players there, they wasn't feeling all this co-champion. Co-champ. And they lost the game. They won the game. So it's interesting when that comes up. I like that. So I'm fascinated. This is another one, quiet, sneaky game, Charles. Yeah, we won't get into it, but I want to bring it to y'all attention. Morgan State, 3-5 versus what they've done defensively. Find a little bit of offense. They're 3-5. If they went out, that was a 500-year season. Second-year coach. Yep. He's on his way. Going out to South Carolina State. I already told you that they had to run the table. They come in at 4-5, big win. At home game, ESPN Plus. This is one to keep your eyes on in regards to Buddy Pugh finishing out the season or Morgan State. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll leave it right there. Drew, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna go over there to Tennessee State. Now, before you do that, I do have to make a statement. North Carolina A&T continues to struggle, 42-32.
Yep.
I know you call them the team school down the highway, but they lost their homecoming 42-32 against Towson. That was 4-5. It's going to be fascinating to watch this program, not because we want to see the misery. I think Josh probably.
Oh, I love it.
But in all seriousness, how high this team was before they left to make the changes. And people can say whatever reasons, and many of them could be true, but the fact of how far they've fallen.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. Now, what I want to go to you, Drew, is Tennessee State. They already have the winning season 6-3. Obviously, they feel they let it get away in regards to putting themselves in a position to fight for the Big South OVC Championship. More importantly for them, they were looking at the playoffs potential. That's done. But this is the matchup that you can really tell if they turn the corner. 6-3. Tennessee State faces Eastern Illinois that is also 6-3. So on ESPN, it's going to be fascinating to see what that looks like as you talk about the standings. Eastern Illinois is at 2-2. Obviously, Tennessee State is at 2-2. So just for the trajectory of the overall program, what are your thoughts, Drew, quickly as we get out of here?
This is a game where Eddie George has to make a statement to show how true of a coach he is. Every coach loses that game that they felt like they should have won. Every coach loses that tough one. What marks a good coach from a great coach is the ability to come back and use the 24-hour rule and forget about it and to go and continue on the mission that you have for the entire season. HBCU national championship is gone. Chances at the FCS playoffs are slim. Chances at winning the OVC Big South are slim, but there is an outside chance. You have a puncher's chance with that, but you need a lot of help. So for Eddie George to be able to get this group together, motivate them, and to finish out the season strong, to try to set it up so that maybe in 2024, the fans believe in the Tigers and will actually show up at the stadium.
Drew, you wild, yo.
Oh, man. Man, how we get out of here between Josh and Tim?
Hey, that was too serious, man.
Hey, Dr. Cavil, did you hear Drew? Did you hear what Drew said at the end, though? He said he's so cool and so smooth. He said, so this show in 2024 will decide to show up.
I heard it. The only reason the fans showing up is if they announce they're going to join the SWAC. Whether it's 2024, 2025, 2026. Other than that, they're not coming. They told you what they're doing. You can do all the winning in the world. You're going to have those select fans who want to see them win. Outside of that, they just going through the motions. But let them do what they do. That's what they do. Thank you for listening inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Drew did try to sell it. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues.
That fell short.
Joshua. Charles Bishop did everything not to laugh. Mike Washington poking fun. Joshua's just grinning and doing his famous thing. It is good. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, Dean of HBCU Sports, come from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, Joshua Sims Seniors, and AD Drew here at Prairie View, shutting down the former part of the homecoming. Boy, was it a good one, another legacy. And I am out of wind. I can't wait to sit up here and just sit back on my couch and watch Brian and AD on SportsWrap because I won't have anything left. Again, we hope you enjoyed everything. Make sure next week you catch up with X's and O's, 2 of the 3 of the crew, BJ Jones, curator of the HBCU Weekly, Josh Sin, senior curator of HBCU Nightly. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Liz Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watch, Charles Bishop, every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, Sunday at 9. Obviously, the shows are not as long generally on Sundays, but little love in terms of homecoming special. North Carolina Central. I do want to give Charles a special statement to make sure he gets an announcement. He's finna go over there and call
SWAC Soccer Championship. Grambling taking on Jackson State in SWAC Soccer Championship. It's been a tremendous few days. SWAC Championship's been here on the campus of Purview during homecoming festivities, Thursday, Friday, and culmination today, Sunday on SWAC Digital.
My dog!
Congrats, dog. Congrats,
I know
dog.
you can't call it, but Grambling's playing really well. Jackson.
Yeah, both teams are playing very well. They do a tremendous job of maneuvering the ball across the pitch and using their speed to push the ball into the corners. And they have both teams have great scores right there in the middle in terms of midfielders who are able to get the ball in the net.
Josh,
what time can we catch that, Charles?
Some of your MEAC folks to make sure they get a women's soccer program up there, man, so we can get some crosstown rivalry, man.
We on the way, Doc. We on the way. North Carolina Central. Those are, and I can't. I'm not gonna say official. I cannot make that as official. I don't work for the institution, but I know that because we have that auxiliary field, because when we have some additional resources there on campus, in the athletics department, that will be one of the next sports that we add. Man, is men and women's soccer. So I'm looking forward to that because North Carolina in general is a hotbed for soccer, and now that we have a pro team in Charlotte, you'll start to see us 100% really dial into soccer, man. So I'm looking forward to that, Doc. I'm looking forward to us being able to come down and play Jackson soccer on the women's and same with Prairie View and all of our brothers and sisters, man, excited diaspora who have soccer. We're looking forward to doing that.
No doubt. Delaware State, South Carolina State, and Howard. Shout out their soccer. Drew, quick.
What time is that game on SWAC Digital, Charles?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Central, so it'll be 2 o'clock Eastern.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
We look forward to next week when we discuss the latest in the news in the lab. Thank you for Drew for getting that out. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, DrKenyattacavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we hadn't forgot about that. We want FAMU and Bethune-Cookman to get some women's soccer as well. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, dream big, continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Horse.
Mike?
Lecture.
AD and Joshua?
Dismiss.
Be safe, people.